Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name's Meredith Phillips. I'm a writer, reader, and bunny mama, and today I wanted to talk about perseverance and patience when it comes to publishing. Now in this video specifically, I'm going to be focusing or talking about traditional publishing. I think some of this could certainly apply to self-publishing, but that's a little bit different in certain ways. I know a bit about self-publishing, but because that's not exactly the direction I want to go with my work, I don't feel like I know a whole lot about it on a detail level, so I don't want to say this applies like exclusively to both. It applies mainly, I think, to traditional publishing. Self-publishers, I think you can take something away from this, hopefully. But this is mainly for traditional publishing. I obviously don't have firsthand experience in traditional publishing because I am not yet published. However, I've read a lot about the process. I feel like I generally understand the basic steps that you go through. So I'm not coming at this from like some sort of expert point of view. So if you are active on Twitter or Instagram, you've probably seen things like this pop up every so often. These are publication announcements, usually I think put out by the publishers or the literary agents. The author will usually post them very excitedly because it's a book deal. They got a book deal. They did the thing. I love these announcements. You can see all the details of the book. You can see a smiling picture of the author right next to it. It's exciting seeing these. Even if I don't know the author or like it's a debut novel, it doesn't really even matter what the circumstance of the announcement is. Just seeing those things is really inspirational to me. I love them. What really gets me is the ones where they have the author's picture right next to it and they just look like they're beaming. They're so excited. They've worked so incredibly hard for years to get to the point where they have been offered a book deal. They've probably written first draft after first draft after first draft. They've probably revised some of them, tossed some of them out. They've written query letters. They've gotten an agent. They've gone through the submission process to publishing houses, and they've finally gotten picked up with a book deal. There is an incredible amount of time and effort and sheer willpower, and maybe even some money over multiple years with absolutely no guarantee of success. And when I say money, I do want to clarify, you shouldn't ever be paying somebody to publish you. They are supposed to pay you. But I'm thinking more like a lot of us will sign up for online workshops or classes and that kind of thing to help hone our skills and that sort of thing. So that's what I mean by spending money. And there's no guarantee, of course, that you're going to get anything out of the money you spend or the effort you put into a book. But against all the odds, there are authors who make it and they get that shiny author picture next to their book announcement. They did the thing that so many of us are trying to do, and they deserve all the congratulations and all of that well-earned revenue for their efforts. When I read these publication announcements, I get like this glow inside. I'm just so excited for them. These are the people who have done the thing that I'm trying to do and they've succeeded. It's proof that it is possible. It means there's hope for me and it's hope for anyone else out there who is willing to try. However, there's one part of these announcements. It's not in every single one, but it's usually in there and it's usually toward the end of the announcement. And this one little phrase, it doesn't make me feel depressed necessarily, but it's kind of like you have this glow of happiness reading how successful these people have been, and then it slaps you in the face at the end. And that is the expected publication date. I've read a bunch of announcements as they come out over the last several months, and I'm starting to see more and more that are announcing a publication date of winter 2023. I even saw one yesterday for winter 2024. 2024. 2024. That's 3 years from now. Now, I will say, I'm not sure when they say winter, if they mean like January, February, or if they mean like November, December of that year. But either way, that still means it's 1.5 to 2.5 years from now, July 2021. These authors who have worked so hard for so many years, honing their talent, improving the craft, They've gone through all the steps and they've gotten the book deal. And they still have to wait a freaking long time to see their book out in the world. That's at least an 18-month wait from the time you sign for a book deal. That's a year plus another 6 months. That's the same as 2 pregnancies. A newborn baby today will be walking and talking by the time those books are out on shelves. If you went to school full time, you could have an associate's degree by the time those books come out. That's a long time. And honestly, seeing those kinds of dates, those kind of numbers is daunting. We have to be willing to work for years and years before we even will see a hint of success. And again, there's no guarantee that I'm gonna get there. So how do you persevere through that? How do you be patient and wait and work hard while still knowing that this stuff is so far in the future for so many of us? I'm impatient. I want it now. This is America! I want it now! I've been writing for a little over 5 years at this point. And honestly, a lot of that, looking back, I kind of consider it to just be practice. I was writing first drafts, I was practicing different types of voices and genres, and nothing I wrote in those early years is going to be worth exploring or fixing up or publishing at some point. It's mainly junk. Even the book I wrote for NaNoWriMo 2019, which was only a year and a half ago, looking back at it now, there's no character development, there's no real plot. It's just sort of a 50,000 word dump, which I had fun writing that book, but it is junk. Even getting to the point of having that book deal announced, where you're still gonna have to wait another year and a half plus before you see your book out in the world, that's probably still years down the line for me. If I were to get published in the next 4 years, honestly, I would consider myself to be very lucky. But 4 years? I'm gonna be 39 years old in 4. I'm gonna be almost 40 years old. That's like middle age. Like actual, like you can't even deny it middle age. Technically, I might be middle-aged right now, but we're not going to think about that. And that's definitely my planner, big picture brain at work. And that's a skill set that has served me well in the past. I like that my brain does that. But in this particular situation, I kind of wish it would just chill for a second. In situations like this, where you're looking so far in the future and wondering, how am I ever going to get there? You just sort of sit back at some point and sigh. And that is when I turn to the font of all wisdom, known as Lawrence of Arabia. If you're new around here, you might not have heard me talk about this yet, but my favorite movie of all time is Lawrence of Arabia. It came out in 1962. It is literal art. I could probably make a 20-hour video about it, but I'm gonna stick to my point and only share the part that is relevant to this discussion. So let me give you a little bit of setup for a scene in the movie that happens very early on and why this scene is so inspirational. In this scene, the main character, T.E. Lawrence, is faced with the challenge of how to attack an enemy stronghold in the city of Aqaba. He thinks of a solution, but his solution involves crossing a huge expanse of desert that is very hostile and that even the native Bedouin tribes do not go there. It is dangerous, you're gonna die if you go. And the idea of crossing the whole thing is unheard of. One of the Arabic men that he's working with tells him that this is impossible, it can't be done, and he should forget about it. It's almost certain death. But Lawrence refutes all of their arguments. He points off in the distance towards Aqaba and he says, Aqaba is over there. It's only a matter of going. I love this. He is so determined to do the thing that he refutes everything else and he reduces the problem to the most simple of terms. It's over there. It's only a matter of going. Publication to me feels the same way. It's a treacherous road. A lot of people are going to start and a lot of them aren't going to make it. They're going to get stuck along the way or they're going to fail and turn back. Many people are going to tell you that it is impossible, it's ridiculous, you shouldn't waste your time trying. But that's not true. It might be difficult, but it is not impossible. It's right over there. It's only a matter of going. One project at a time, one day at a time, one word at a time. People have done it before, and we might be the next people to do it again. So, go write your novel. Go write your short story collection and keep going. Put your head down and work hard. Your dreams are over there. It's only a matter of going. So, what do you think? Do you think that publishing is this huge dream and sometimes you get overwhelmed by it and feel like it is not going to ever happen because it takes so long? How do you keep persevering? How do you keep going when the light at the end of the tunnel isn't even visible yet? Let me know what motivates you to keep pushing forward. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, make sure you click the subscribe button. I post videos on Tuesdays and Fridays. You can find me over on Instagram at Meredith Phillips Writes, and you can sign up for my quarterly newsletter at meredithphillips.com. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye. I feel so crap right now. I have a headache. My body is kind of getting achy. You know when you get sick and your skin is like overly sensitive and you're like, I'm starting to feel like that, so my energy is super low. But we're gonna do it for the YouTube. Here we go.